Arsenal are watching Valverde, and this could be the biggest transfer of the summer. Welcome to Arsenal Daily, your trusted home for everything Arsenal. And if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we cover every Arsenal story as it happens, every single day. We do not miss a thing, and today we have something really exciting to talk about. Now, before we get into it, let me ask you something. What if Arsenal signed one of the best midfielders in world football this summer? Not a young prospect, not a backup option. We're talking about a genuine world-class player who wins trophies for the biggest club in Europe every single season. Sound too good to be true? Well, the latest reports are saying it might not be, because Arsenal have placed Federico Valverde of Real Madrid on their transfer shortlist, and the football world is now paying very close attention. Let us break everything down for you, step by step. Who is Federico Valverde, and why does everyone want him? If you do not know much about Federico Valverde, do not worry. By the end of this post, you will understand exactly why so many top clubs across Europe are doing whatever they can to get their hands on him. Federico Santiago Valverde de Peta was born on the 22nd of July, 1998 in Montevideo, Uruguay. He is 27 years old right now, and he plays for Real Madrid in La Liga. He wears the number 8 shirt, which is not just any shirt at Real Madrid. That number was handed down to him by the legendary Toni Kroos after Kroos retired. That alone tells you how much the club thinks of this young man. Valverde is a central midfielder by trade, but he is so versatile that he has also played at right back when Real Madrid needed him there. He is known for his incredible engine, his ability to run and run for the full 90 minutes, his explosive pace, his eye for goal, and his all-round quality on the ball. When people describe him, they often say he is the complete midfielder. And looking at what he has done over the past few years, it is very hard to argue with that description. He started his career at Peñarol in Uruguay back in 2015, making his debut just one day after his 17th birthday. He was already impressing people at that age, which is why Real Madrid came calling just a year later in 2016. He initially joined their reserve team, Real Madrid Castilla, and worked his way up from there. Since making his first team debut for Real Madrid in 2017, he has gone on to make over 300 appearances for the club. Let that number sink in for a moment. Over 300 games for Real Madrid. And in that time, the trophies have kept coming. He has won 3 La Liga titles, 2 UEFA Champions League titles, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 2 FIFA Club World Cups, and the Copa del Rey. He is a serial winner, a player who knows what it takes to be at the top. Just this season, 2025-26, he has been in the form of his life. In La Liga alone, he has 5 goals and 8 assists in 32 matches. In the Champions League, he has added 3 more goals and 4 assists in 13 games. Earlier in 2026, he contributed to an incredible 16 goals across different competitions between January and March. That included a hat trick against Manchester City in the Champions League round of 16, which was the first hat trick of his entire career. He also scored a beautiful free kick in the Spanish Super Cup Derby. The man is absolutely on fire. His market value right now sits at around 122 million euros. His contract with Real Madrid runs until June 2029. So this is not a player who is about to become a free agent. Any club that wants him will have to pay big money and convince Real Madrid to sell. So why is everyone talking about him leaving? Let's get into that. The training ground incident that changed everything. Sometimes in football, things happen off the pitch that change the direction of a player's future completely. And that is exactly what happened at Real Madrid a few weeks ago. Reports came out that Federico Valverde and his Real Madrid teammate Aurelien Tchouameni had an altercation during a training session. The incident got quite serious. During the confrontation, Valverde slipped and hit his head on a table in the dressing room. He had to be taken to hospital immediately for treatment. The injury was diagnosed as cranioencephalic trauma, which is a type of traumatic brain injury. Valverde was ordered to rest for between 10 and 14 days. He himself denied that any punches were thrown during the incident. Tchouameni returned to training the next day and played the full 90 minutes in the El Clasico that followed, which Real Madrid lost 2-0 to Barcelona. Valverde, still recovering, could not play in that game. Real Madrid took the incident very seriously. The club opened a disciplinary investigation and fined both players €500,000 each. That is a huge fine. That tells you just how seriously the club viewed what had happened. Now here is where it gets really interesting for Arsenal fans. As soon as news of this incident came out, clubs across Europe started circling. The general feeling in the transfer world was that something like this could push one or both of these players towards the exit door. And it was not just one or two clubs who started making inquiries. 5 major clubs reportedly registered their interest in Valverde almost immediately. Arsenal are one of those 5 clubs. Arsenal on the list. What we know. According to reports from Team Talk, Arsenal greatly admire Federico Valverde and are very keen to bring him to North London. The Gunners have placed the 27-year-old on their transfer shortlist, and they're keeping a very close eye on how his situation develops at Real Madrid. Arsenal are not alone in this chase. The other clubs said to be interested are Chelsea, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, and Bayern Munich. That is some company to be keeping. You do not get a list like that unless the player in question is genuinely world-class. For Arsenal fans, this is exciting for a number of reasons. Mikel Arteta has spent the last few seasons building a squad that is very good, but that is still looking for that final piece to take them from title challengers to actual title winners. A player of Valverde's quality, his work rate, his ability to score goals from midfield and also defend from the front, his experience of winning the biggest trophies in football, that is exactly the kind of player who could make the difference. Think about what Valverde would bring to Arsenal's midfield. He would walk into almost any team in the world right now. He would immediately raise the level of everyone around him. He brings a winning mentality that can only come from winning Champions Leagues and La Liga titles year after year. The question everyone is asking is, can Arsenal actually make this happen? The Real Madrid situation. Is a sale actually possible? This is where things get a little more complicated, and we want to be honest with you, because that is what we do here at Arsenal Daily. Despite all the drama of the training ground incident, Real Madrid have made it very clear that they do not plan to sell Valverde this summer. Sources close to the club have confirmed that both Valverde and Tchouaméni held talks between themselves after the incident and sorted out their differences. Real Madrid moved quickly to calm the whole situation down internally. The club's president Florentino Perez views Valverde as a key part of Real Madrid's long-term future. The Uruguayan is now vice-captain of the team, a position he was given this season after the departures of Luka Modric and Lucas Vazquez. That promotion to vice-captain is a sign of enormous trust. You do not make someone who you are planning to sell vice-captain of Real Madrid. Both Valverde and Tchouaméni are said to see their futures at the Bernabeu, and neither player is currently pushing for a move. Valverde himself has spoken about this kind of thing before. He once said publicly that he has the ability to play for Real Madrid, and that if the day comes when he does not feel that way, he or the club will look for another solution. That does not sound like a player who is desperate to leave. There is also the issue of price. With a market value of around €122 million and a contract that runs to 2029, Real Madrid are in a very strong position when it comes to negotiations. They do not have to sell, and if they were to sell, the fee would be enormous. We're talking well over €100 million, possibly significantly more. Adding to all of this is the fact that Real Madrid are expected to bring in a new manager this summer, with Jose Mourinho widely reported to be the favorite to take over from Alvaro Arbeloa. Any major transfer decisions are expected to be held until the new manager is in place. That makes things even more complicated. So yes, the honest truth is that getting Valverde out of Real Madrid this summer would be one of the hardest transfers in football right now. It would require Real Madrid to change their mind completely, Valverde himself to push for a move, and a club to put together a financial package that is almost impossible to say no to. But has that ever stopped Arsenal before? And has the football world not seen wilder things happen in the transfer market? What this means for Arsenal's midfield plans. Let us talk tactics for a moment, because this is something Arsenal fans love to get into. Mikel Arteta has done a brilliant job building Arsenal's midfield over the past couple of seasons. The combination of Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Jorginho has given the team a solid foundation. But Arteta has always been clear that he wants to keep pushing the squad forward and adding quality where he can. Partey has had a tough time with injuries over the years and is no longer getting any younger. Jorginho is a reliable squad player, but nobody would call him a game-changer at this stage of his career. And while Odegaard and Rice are both excellent players, neither of them quite brings what Valverde would bring in terms of that box-to-box physicality combined with serious goal threat. Valverde is the kind of midfielder who can cover every blade of grass in a game. He presses, he wins the ball back, he drives forward, he shoots from distance, he creates chances, and he can chip in with big goals in big moments. He is not just a tidy passer or a defensive shield. He is a complete all-round threat who raises the ceiling of any team he plays in. If Arsenal could bring someone like that to the Emirates, it would send out a massive statement. It would say to the rest of the Premier League and Europe that this club is serious about winning the biggest trophies. It would give Arteta a genuine world-class option to build around alongside Odegaard and Rice. And at 27, Valverde is at the perfect age. He is not too young that he needs time to settle in, and he is not too old that you're worrying about how many years you are getting out of him. He should have his best years right in front of him. If Arsenal signed him now, they could potentially get 5 or 6 years of him at the very top level. Now here's a question for you reading this right now. Do you think Mikel Arteta should go all in and try to sign Valverde this summer, no matter what it costs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We read every single one. The competition Arsenal face. Even if Real Madrid were to open the door to selling Valverde, Arsenal would not be the only ones knocking. And some of their rivals in this race have a lot of firepower. Chelsea have been spending enormous amounts of money in recent seasons and have shown they're not afraid to go over 100 million euros for the right player. They're also said to be keeping a very close eye on Valverde's situation. Manchester City under Pep Guardiola have long been linked with Valverde. Guardiola is said to see the Uruguayan as a perfect fit for his system, and City have the financial backing to compete for almost anyone in world football. Paris Saint-Germain are rebuilding their squad with big ambitions and have identified midfield as an area where they need to add quality. Valverde fits exactly what they are looking for, and Bayern Munich, one of the biggest and richest clubs in Germany, have also been tracking Valverde for some time. So Arsenal are going up against 4 of the richest and most powerful clubs in European football in this race. That is the reality. It will not be easy, but Arsenal have proven in recent windows that they are willing to compete with the very best when they identify a player they really want. Liverpool are also said to have had an interest in Valverde previously. The Reds were linked with him before and monitored his situation closely, though they did not pursue him aggressively at the time. The transfer market this summer is going to be absolutely wild, and Valverde could end up being the centerpiece of the whole thing. How likely is this actually happening? Let's give you an honest breakdown of where things stand. Right now, the probability of this transfer happening is low, but it is not zero. Real Madrid are not looking to sell. Valverde is not pushing to leave. The price would be enormous, and there are multiple other top clubs competing for the same player. But football transfers are strange things. Situations can change very quickly. The training ground incident has already created more uncertainty around Valverde's future than there was 6 months ago. The arrival of a new manager at Real Madrid in the form of Jose Mourinho, if that happens, could also shake things up. New managers sometimes want to bring in their own players and move on players who were key to the previous regime. What we can say with confidence is that Arsenal are serious about this. They have placed Valverde on their short list. They greatly admire him, and they are keeping a very close eye on developments. That is not nothing. That is the beginning of a process that could lead somewhere very significant. For now, Arsenal fans should watch this space very carefully. And here is another question for you. If Arsenal cannot get Valverde, who do you think should be their number 1 midfield target this summer? Drop your answer in the comments below. We genuinely want to know what the Arsenal Daily community thinks. What Valverde has said about his future. It is worth going back to something Valverde himself has said publicly about his future, because his own words are very revealing. When he was asked about the possibility of moving to the Premier League, he said that he has the ability to play for Real Madrid. He said that the day he does not feel like that anymore, he or Real Madrid will look for another solution. That is a very confident statement from a player who clearly loves where he is and believes in himself completely. That mindset is actually one of the things that makes Valverde so appealing. He is not a player who is desperate to leave. He is not chasing money or a move for the sake of it. He is a winner who wants to be at the best possible place to keep winning. Right now, he believes Real Madrid is that place. For any club to change his mind, they would have to offer him something truly special. A compelling sporting project, a manager who he believes in completely, and a wage package that reflects his status as one of the best midfielders on the planet. Could Arsenal offer all of those things? Under Mikel Arteta, who has shown himself to be one of the best managers in the world, and with a project that is genuinely moving forward at pace, the answer could well be yes. Arsenal are not a small club asking a big player to take a step down. Arsenal are a club on the rise, competing for the biggest honors, with a world-class manager and a fan base that is absolutely passionate. Valverde might just be the kind of player who looks at what Arsenal are building and thinks, why not? The bigger picture for Arsenal this summer. The Valverde story is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle that Arsenal are trying to solve this summer. After years of being close, but not quite winning the Premier League, Arteta and the board know that this window is crucial. Arsenal have been near the top of English football for the past 2 seasons. They have pushed Manchester City and Liverpool close. They have shown they can compete in Europe. But they have not yet won the league, and they have not gone deep enough in the Champions League to satisfy what this club and its fans want. Adding someone like Valverde would be a statement signing that shows the world Arsenal mean business. It would energize the fan base. It would give Arteta a weapon that the team currently does not have. And it would show potential future signings that Arsenal are the kind of club that can attract and keep the very best players in football. Of course, transfers are never straightforward, especially ones of this scale. There will be twists and turns. There will be reports saying it is on and reports saying it is off. There's a very long way to go before any of this becomes reality. But the fact that we are even talking about Arsenal being in the running for Federico Valverde, one of the most sought-after midfielders in world football, is a sign of just how far this club has come under Mikel Arteta. Final thoughts. So there you have it, everything you need to know about Arsenal and their interest in Federico Valverde. Let's quickly recap what we know. Arsenal have placed the 27-year-old Real Madrid midfielder on their transfer shortlist. They greatly admire him and are keen to bring him to North London. He is one of the most complete midfielders in world football right now, with incredible stats, a Champions League pedigree, and a winning mentality built up over years at the very top level. The situation at Real Madrid has become a little more uncertain following the training ground incident with Tchouaméni. But Real Madrid insist they are not selling. Valverde himself is happy at the club, and any deal would cost an enormous amount of money. Arsenal face serious competition from Chelsea, Manchester City, PSG, and Bayern Munich. This is not a transfer that is going to be easy, but football has surprised us before. And when it comes to Arsenal this summer, we believe they're going to be busy and bold. We will be covering every single update on this story and everything else Arsenal-related right here on Arsenal Daily and on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please go and do that right now. We are your trusted source for Arsenal news, analysis, and transfer updates, and we are not going anywhere. Thank you so much for following. We will see you in the next one. Come on, you Gunners.